on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Live from Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. This is Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. Also brought to you in part by Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com or your local Ford dealer and score a Ford SUV today. Coke Zero Sugar, and refreshingly delicious. Golden Flake, the official potato chip of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Bud Light, it's for the fans. And by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Now, live from Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa, this is Hey Coach.
Roll Tide and welcome to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover alongside our producer and engineer Tom Stipe, and we're glad you're with us tonight at Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide, everyone. Roll Tide. Let's talk about Alabama basketball, and let's talk about some wins over the Auburn Tigers. It was a great weekend for the Crimson Tide on the hardwood. Yesterday, women's basketball earned a season sweep of Auburn with a 69-46 win at Coleman Coliseum. Alabama has now won the last 9 meetings against Auburn in women's basketball, setting a new program record. This is also the 4th straight season that Alabama has swept the Tigers in the regular season, winning both on the Plains and here in Tuscaloosa. We'll start our show tonight talking women's basketball with assistant coach Kelly Curry. Then around 6:30, we'll be joined by men's basketball head coach Nate Oats. The men's team also won at Auburn on Saturday, topping the Tigers 77-69 in front of a capacity crowd at Neville Arena. Earlier today, we got some great news as the AP poll for this week was released, and Alabama is number 1. Congratulations, Coach Oats and the Crimson Tide, on getting to the top spot in the polls. The journey to an SEC championship will continue coming up this Wednesday night at Tennessee. But again, Alabama number 1 in the AP poll for the first time in 20 years. We are very fired up about that. Wins against Auburn to talk about tonight here on the show. Always a good thing for all of us wearing crimson. If you'd like to ask either of our coaches a question tonight, just give us a call on the Yellowhammer Brewing hotline at 877-202-BAMA. I want to remind you as well to keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app, presented by Cadence Bank. It's available at the App Store and Google Play. Download the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app now for free. You're listening to Hey Coach from Baumhower's Victory Grille, the official watch party location of the Crimson Tide. Kelly Curry joins us next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Treatment Company, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood is championship quality lumber for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. No rot, no decay, no termites, no problems. Just wood treated right. To locate your local Everwood store, visit everwoodtreatment.com. Everwood Treatment, official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Southern homes are particularly vulnerable to termites. In this climate, you need guaranteed protection. You need Cook's Pest Control and Centricon. Termites attack the Centricon stations, exposing themselves to an agent that eliminates their entire colony. Upgrade from old-fashioned liquid service to the proven protection of Centricon and Cook's Pest Control. Call Cook's today for a free evaluation.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
Hello there, my name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you know you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials. You can trust your car to the place with the star to get you to the things you love or travel near and far. With Texaco at your side, life can be a lovely ride. So trust your car to the Texaco star.
When you fill up with Texaco with Techron, you get unbeatable mileage to help make your adventures bigger than ever. Download the Texaco app to find a station near you.
If you're looking for the best selection in Crimson Tide apparel, look no further than the Soup Store. The Soup Store is every Bama fan's ultimate destination for the hottest gear and accessories, with 3 great locations around campus to serve you: in Tuscaloosa on campus at the Ferguson Center, on the Strip in front of Bryant-Denny Stadium, and on Bryant Drive. If you can't get to Tuscaloosa, shop the Soup Store online at soupstore.ua.edu. The Soup Store is a proud partner of Alabama Athletics.
Sweeps down the left side lane, kicks it out to Davis. Her three is up and good from the left side. Brittany Davis, her first three-pointer of the game. Alabama 38, Auburn 21. Timeout Tigers. That was just the start of what turned out to be a double-double effort for Brittany Davis yesterday for Alabama in a big win against the Auburn Tigers in women's basketball. This segment of Hey Coach is presented by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. With zero sugar and refreshingly delicious is Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the best Coke ever. Find out for yourself. Glad to welcome you back to Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. This is Roger Hoover, now joined by women's basketball assistant coach Kelly Curry. Roll Tide, Coach.
Roll Tide, Roger.
It's great to have you here tonight. A lot of times we see your wife Christy here, of course, but we understand she is out recruiting tonight. But you guys have got to be fired up with the way this basketball team is playing. 3 straight victories, including a huge win yesterday against Auburn.
No, for sure. I mean, it's, you want to be playing your best basketball this time of year, and I feel like we are. We've won 7 out of our last 9, and the 2 that we lost were LSU and South Carolina, which are pretty good teams. Both were undefeated until yesterday.
They really have been playing at a high level. Alabama, of course, has been able to kind of find its stride with the rotation we've seen now just from when the season started to where we are now. If you could just kind of take us on the journey for this team, what have you noticed over the last few months?
Starting the year, we knew that we had probably the most talent that we've had here up and down the roster, but it was trying to figure out who fit best with who. We had, if you count Carly, who was in high school last year, we had 10 kids that started where they were. And so, it was going to be about people sacrificing minutes, people sacrificing being able to start and doing things a little bit differently. And to their credit, they've really developed and stepped up, and everybody's been willing to do that. And so now we have a rotation we feel like that is the strongest to start games, but maybe a different group ends it. And so people would bring in different strengths for sure.
Crimson Tide went 11-2 in non-conference play to start the year, ended that time on a 9-game winning streak. How did that time help get you ready for SEC play?
Well, I think the biggest thing that probably jumps out was the ability to go on the road and win. We've won 5 SEC road games, and I think that started in the non-conference. We obviously went to the Bahamas, had a very challenging tournament there, but at South Florida, at Mercer, at Southern Miss, and so just the ability to go on the road in the non-conference. You look at some of the other schools in the conference, they played all their games at home. And so I think, but we had a group that we were confident in, an older group that we felt like that were ready for that challenge, and they stepped up.
And for the Crimson Tide as well, that non-conference schedule, a lot of teams that are still doing really well, and I'm sure that's a big reason why Alabama's net ranking has consistently been in the top 25 throughout the year.
Yeah, it was with the stuff that I don't know what it was this morning. He checks it for us, but the SEC sent something yesterday that we were at 22. So that's right where you want to be. It's a credit to the kids. They've stepped up. Christy's always preaching to them about consistency in our preparation, consistency in the way we handle stuff when we're away from the floor, and consistency in the games. And for the most part, we've been really good at that.
It's been really exciting to watch this team on the road, picking up the victories we've seen. Started with Tennessee, lost there, but then after that, 5 straight victories. Just what's been the approach around some of these road games, starting with a great effort at Ole Miss?
I think, like I said, going back to non-conference, I think there's just a little bit of a comfort area. And as crazy as it sounds, sometimes it's easier to play on the road because there aren't all the distractions, and And, distractions, I kind of hate to even use that word, but it can be good distractions too. Your family's in town or friends or people are asking or pulling on you for different things. And when you're on the road, you're just focused on basketball and getting ready to play.
That was a great win, of course, Crimson Tide at Ole Miss. The Arkansas game was pretty notable as well for managing a tight late-game situation. Just how proud of you of the effort, the way Alabama was able to execute. First with Hannah, the go-ahead basket, but then get the defensive stop, seal the win.
No, for sure. I think you look at it goes back to Christy's really big in believing and working on special situations. We do it every water break, some kind of different thing, whether it's a short shot clock, an end of game on the side. And with the way our rules are, it's very important to be able to execute because we can call timeouts and advance the ball. And it's just a group that's been through things. Hannah and Brittany, Meg, they've made big shots in their careers and executed. And Jada and the rest of the group, Sarah Ashley, Aaliyah, they've all had the experience of starting and been in those experiences. And you just can't, to me, you can't replace that. And like I said, it's we've consistently worked on that, so it's not this big deal when it comes game time. You just, you kind of go and do what you've been doing.
Over the next few segments, we'll talk about some individuals on this roster. I'll start with kind of thinking about that Arkansas game. Hannah Barber got the game-winning three-pointer with 8 seconds left to go, and she's one of your super seniors for this year. Just what have you seen from her from the time you guys started recruiting her to where she is now playing at a high level in the SEC?
Yeah, it's just kind of amazing. I mean, you think she's been part of my life for like 7 years, when you think about it, how recruiting her and everything. And she's so rock steady. I mean, she shows up and you know exactly what you're going to get from her every time out. Every practice, she's as good or probably the best leader we've ever had. And, her calmness, her determination, her leadership, it starts in the locker room and it just leads on over to the floor. And she's really stepped up her offensive game. And, that's something we talked about in the offseason that, we're going to need more from her. And it's, I don't know, last time I checked, she was like 45% from three. I mean, she's got incredible numbers. I can't get her to shoot it enough. It was funny, the 2 games ago, I noticed she wasn't shooting and making in warm-ups like she usually did. And I knew it was coming. She misses her first one of the game. She didn't want to shoot anymore. I said, Hannah, you got to shoot. I mean, and sure enough, she hit 2 or 3 big shots down the stretch. But she's just an incredible person, an incredible player, and I can't think of a better ambassador for our program.
Usually when I'm getting ready for games, I always see her first on the floor from the locker room, and I imagine it's that way around practice before and after as well.
Absolutely. I mean, she's so disciplined, and it's her preparation. And, you're not going to be able to do anything when they turn the lights on that you hadn't done before a million times in practice and before. But she's very intentional about her work ethic and the things that she does. And like I say, she's just a really neat person.
High praise for Hannah Barber from Kelly Curry. We'll continue our conversation with him coming up in a moment as we continue live from Baumhower's, where you can celebrate Mardi Gras. You can enjoy a Cajun-style meal for a limited time from the new Mardi Gras menu. Join the Mardi Gras party at Baumhower's today. Baumhower's Victory Grille, legendary fun, legendary food. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the Lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Ready for our little forest adventure?
Yes! So much waiting for me. Yeah, I wanna go outside. I wanna be.
We're here.
Whoa, that was fast.
There's a forest closer than you think. Find a park or forest near you and music inspired by nature. DiscoverTheForest.org. Brought to you by USDA Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Queen into Barker. Barker left side lane spins around, finds Abrams top of the key. A three-pointer on the way. Finally rolls in for Megan Abrams right before the shot clock buzzer. Welcome back to Coleman for Megan Abrams. And welcome back to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. Roger Hoover visiting with assistant coach for the women's basketball team, Kelly Curry. And that highlight we just heard, Megan Abrams had to miss a month with a hamstring injury, but great to see her come back first against Kentucky and then, coach, hit that three-pointer that was really at a big point of the game against Auburn.
Yeah, it was. I was happy for Megan because she's worked so hard to come back. And you think about, your last year and something like that happens. And to her credit, she has been the most enthusiastic, greatest leader on the court and on the sideline while she's been out. And, even when she wasn't playing and could be playing against Kentucky, she was trying to start coming back. She was just so positive, enthusiastic on the bench, and it's been neat to see.
Really good to see that for her. And then yesterday, Brittany Davis, who we mentioned before, had a double-double in the ballgame, 18 points, but how about a career-high 17 rebounds? She's been your leading rebounder all throughout the season. Yeah,
it's kind of amazing for her size that she's able to do what she does, but she just plays so hard and plays with such high energy. And, it's just a lot of it's instinct. She just goes and gets the ball. I mean, it's not that, she's the best person at blocking out or anything like that. She just goes and pursues the basketball, kind of like she just goes and scores.
Yeah, we've always known about her great outside shot. Are you happy with the way she's getting to the rim this season?
Yeah, she's doing a really good job, especially lately. Man, her finishing has just been at such a high level. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, like an elite level basketball team finishing at the rim, like layups is around 55%, which doesn't sound that high. You think everybody can make a layup, but because of how big everybody is inside and the level of athleticism and stuff. But, she's been pushing 60% and at the rim, especially if you can get her going left. She's got kind of a feel now that she's had kind of in that zone for sure.
I know you got to know Sarah Ashley Barker first in recruiting her. She originally signed with Georgia. You got to compete against her for 2 years while she was with the Lady Bulldogs. But how exciting is it to now get to work with her and see the edge that she brings to this basketball team?
Oh, yeah, it's been great. And she's fit right in, from day one, stepped in and been great with her leadership, but, also on the floor. I mean, she brings a toughness and a physicality and just an overall effort that we really needed. And I give her a lot of credit and some of the new ones in our improvement in defense. That's been the difference to me in our team this year. is on the defensive end and the rebounding. We've always, last 3 or 4 years, we've been a top 30 offense, but we were, as of today, we were number 27 in the nation in defensive efficiency, which is the highest that it's ever been.
And we saw her first really make an impact on defense, but lately the offense seems to be there, and it seems like she can score at all 3 levels for you.
Yeah, she definitely can. I mean, she's an incredible athlete. Obviously, she's got great genes, and it's just a matter of time. She was playing like a totally different role. I mean, at Georgia, she was just more of an outside shooter, but we've asked her to do a lot of other things, and she's really stepped up and been big for us. She's added a whole new dimension for us offensively and defensively.
You bring her in the transfer portal, and then last year around this time of the year, you're able to bring in Loyal McQueen. We got to see her in action starting this fall. Just what do you like about her game right now, and especially how she complements Hannah?
She's just she gives us a change of pace. Is steady and sometimes methodical, but more precise than Hannah is. Loyal is, fast-paced. She can get downhill, get to the rim, push the ball, and create some turnovers and do some things defensively when we bring her and another group in that maybe the first group isn't as strong at.
You look at Alabama, the Crimson Tide at 8-4 so far in SEC play in the upper half of the league, and this is your 10th year coaching in SEC basketball. Is the parity in the league is about as good as you've seen? We mentioned yesterday LSU and South Carolina were the only undefeated team. South Carolina gets the win, but even Christy brought up postgame. Vanderbilt, the team we're going to play on Thursday, is much better than their 2-10 record indicates.
No, it is. I mean, you say on any given night, and I think it's true. I mean, you look, we had the big win on the road at Ole Miss, and then the next game Auburn goes and beats them. And Vanderbilt was tied with Tennessee. They've got some really good guard play and a good post inside, play hard. They're just a little bit short as far as their roster. But, yeah, I think from top to bottom, that anytime you go out, for most of us, you're gonna have to compete or you're not going to come away winning.
Seen the Crimson Tide come away winner 8 times so far in SEC play. We still have 4 games left to go in the regular season. We'll talk about that, plus what's coming up down the road for this women's basketball team. We return with Kelly Curry coming up in just a moment. Before we get a break, I wanted to tell you that the Everwood performances of the week, they both go to Bama Track and Field's Tarsis Origat and Hilda Olumomoy, who set new Crimson Tide records this past weekend. Olumomoy clocked an 8:45.50 in Boston's David Henry Valentine Invitational to claim the top collegiate finish in the event. Her historic run became the 3rd fastest collegiate performance of all time. Then at the Don Kirby Invitational in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Origat recorded a 2020 run to become both the world and NCAA leader in the 200-meter event. His impressive performance is now the 7th fastest all-time collegiate mark. Those are your Everwood performances of the week, brought to you by Everwood Treatment Company. Everwood, wood treated right. We'll continue with Kelly Curry in just a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
By now, your daily routine is probably a little too routine. Don't you want to change? Don't you want to start playing by your
Fans, flu season is just around the corner, and the Alabama Department of Public Health wants to remind Tide fans that this year it's more important than ever to get your flu shot. Research shows that it's possible to have the flu and COVID-19 at the same time. This flu season, protect yourself and the people around you from flu and help reduce the strain on your local healthcare system, who is still responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/flu.
When time matters most, you go with what's tried and true. That's tried and true John Deere equipment and Tri-Green service. Tough chores don't stand a chance with a John Deere 4044M tractor. And right now you can get one with 0% financing. With a 43 horsepower engine, power reverser transmission, and a 10-year powertrain warranty, this John Deere helps you work with confidence day after day. So stop by one of our 29 Alabama and Tennessee locations or visit us online at TriGreenEquipment.com.
Offer ends January 31, 2023. 0% APR for 60 months, subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm Angela, an employee at BASF in Alabama. As a chemist, I love working with a company who wins by offering great benefits to its team members. With great chemistry, anything is possible. At BASF, we create chemistry around the world through our people and our products. To join a winning team and a great place to work, visit BASF.US/Alabama. That's BASF.US/Alabama. BASF, we create chemistry.
This segment of Hey Coach is presented by Homewood Suites by Hilton in downtown Tuscaloosa. Make yourself at home and stay in comfort. Enjoy the great options. The on-site 205 bar and restaurant, Homewood Suites by Hilton in Tuscaloosa, proud preferred hotel partner of the Crimson Tide. We're talking women's basketball with assistant coach Kelly Curry. This is Roger Hoover back with you at Baumhower's Victory Grille here in Tuscaloosa, and a lot of time on the road for the Crimson Tide, but only a few home games left for Alabama at Coleman Coliseum. Starting on Thursday night, it will be Teachers Appreciation Night for the Alabama versus Vanderbilt matchup at 6 p.m. And as we were talking off air again, Vanderbilt has shown they can beat some of the best teams in the league already this year, Coach.
Yeah, they only have 8 active players right now, and so that's been the biggest thing that's probably hindered them. But they're playing hard for 40 minutes. They've got 2 guards that transferred in that are really good. Harbison is, I believe, second leading scorer in the conference right now, and got a good post player that they returned from last year, and so good inside-out balance. Play really hard, and so you got to show up and play.
Thinking of Vanderbilt for a moment again, the game is in Tuscaloosa coming up on Thursday. But, of course, last year and throughout the years, you've gotten to coach at Memorial Gymnasium, where your wife, Christy, she can go up and down the sidelines, but you as an assistant coach have to stay on the baseline for the whole game. How does that change things when you guys play at Vanderbilt?
It's interesting. We've always in the past kind of worked on it during our practices leading up to the game and stayed on the baseline and stuff. But you try to use a lot more hand signals. Communicate when you can, especially when they're going away from you. Like on offense, it's difficult because they have their back to you, and you don't want them turning around looking at you on the baseline. When we first got there, you couldn't go down as far as Christy can go now. At least now they've opened it up some, and you can go more towards midcourt. It was really restrictive when you had to stay on the baseline for sure.
Well, we're certainly glad the game is coming up this week, Thursday at home, Alabama against Vanderbilt. And I know that's your focus right now, but we do know that the Crimson Tide on Sunday will go on the road to take on Mississippi State, a team that has played as well as some of any so far this year in the SEC. They held South Carolina to 58 points earlier in the season. What can you tell us about Sam Purcell's team?
Just a really talented team. You saw them at the end of last year. They really started peaking. And then they added Jessica Carter, who's probably, besides Aaliyah Boston, the best post player in our conference, at least at the 5. And 6'5", long, can score. Gives them a presence underneath on the defensive end. It's really hard to finish. They play really active zone defense. And so they're playing as well as anybody right now. They're right there. It's going to be a big game for us. We got to focus and get Vanderbilt obviously first. And take care of business on Thursday night. But, with Mississippi State and Ole Miss, we're right there with them in the standings, and we're trying to get up to that 4th place double bye spot for the SEC tournament.
Yeah, next week Alabama's at Florida, and then we'll close out the season with a senior day coming up against Ole Miss on February 26th. And then after that, it's the time for the SEC tournament. And last year we saw a really good run for the Crimson Tide, getting 2 wins in Nashville. Even a few years ago, the same thing happened in Greenville. Just what's the key to playing your best basketball during what can be really tough games, especially when you go 3 days in a row while playing?
It is. I mean, it's going to come down to a couple possessions, and it's just who can be mentally tough, stay together, and, execute what you're trying to do, understand the scout. By that time, you've played everybody, so it's not like you're going to be able to trick somebody by running a bunch of plays. I mean, it's about understanding what you do best, being able to maybe create some easy baskets in transition. And like I said, it's going to come down to execution, getting the rebound, the stop on defense, all the little stuff.
Well, we're looking forward to what's coming up for Alabama women's basketball, starting again on Thursday against Vanderbilt at 6 p.m., hoping for a huge crowd at Coleman Coliseum. And I mentioned earlier, this is now the 10th season for the Currys here in Tuscaloosa. This community has gotten to watch your daughters grow up through the years, and, of course, you and Coach Curry. Speaking of Valentine's Day, when did you guys first meet, and what was the spark originally for you two?
So we actually met at the state basketball tournament in Texas. At that time, AAU or travel basketball wasn't a real big deal, and so especially in the state. And so the high school coaches were a lot more involved. And my cousin was a high school coach at the time, and Christy happened to be recruiting a couple players off his team. So we met originally there at the state tournament. My cousin and I had been having a really good time, so we didn't talk to him too long, but then they asked us, and we both went back and worked summer camp, and that's kind of when we started dating and stuff. And she was at Texas A&M at the time.
Very nice. Well, that's led to certainly great careers for you, great life here in Tuscaloosa. And before we let you go, of course, you're a basketball junkie, whether it's women's basketball, you watch a lot of men's games. I think every time we're on a road trip, you have the NBA on, it seems like. What have you made of Coach Oats and the Crimson Tide men's team that you've been able to watch this year?
It's just, it's been fun to watch. I mean, they're so deep. They compete so hard. Obviously, I love what he does offensively, but, I think with them, too, their defense, the length that they have and the athleticism just causes people a lot of problems. But to be able to do what they've done, I don't think most people realize, especially in a league like the SEC, how hard it is to win each night, in and out, on the road and at home. I mean, you're in for a battle every night. And to go through the thing undefeated like they've done it's really special.
Really is. And the same thing can be said for Alabama women's basketball. Coach Curry, just thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on Thursday against Vanderbilt in Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide.
Sounds good. Roll Tide. Thanks.
That's Kelly Curry, assistant basketball coach for the Crimson Tide women's basketball team. Again, they're home coming up on Thursday against Vanderbilt at 6 p.m. for Teacher Appreciation Night. Hey Coach is presented by Alfa Insurance. You can visit alfainsurance.com to find a local agent for auto, home, and life insurance. Call Alpha. Nate Oats joins us next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
At Red Diamond, we know that there's simply nothing better than the perfect sip of fresh brewed iced tea. And we've been working hard to make sure choosing Red Diamond is always easy, with only simple ingredients: water, tea leaves, and pure cane sugar, or no sugar. We make sure our tea tastes like, well, tea. Stop by your local cooler and pick up a gallon for a perfect sip today. Red Diamond. Perfect, not easy.
Here at Payless Drugs, we continue to be just what the doctor ordered. We know getting the medicine you need is especially important during these unique times. And for your safety and convenience, we offer a drive-through at every location. Plus, we have prescription delivery and contactless pickup at all locations. Now's the time to take care of your immunization needs. Stop by any of our convenient locations today.
Just what the doctor ordered. Payless Drugs.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Did you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain.
Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Flanagan at 5, at 4. Wild shot, no good. Rebound, Bama. Sears pushing it ahead. Sears on the wing. Sears in the paint. Sears with a left hand. And Alabama is back on top with 6:58 to go.
That refreshing Bama highlight is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, brewed locally in Alabama and served to fans across the Southeast. Glad to welcome you back to Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. This is Roger Hoover, now joined by the head coach of the #1 ranked team in the country, the Alabama Crimson Tide, Nate Oats. Roll Tide, Coach.
Roll Tide. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Where were you earlier today when you got the news that Alabama was #1 in the AP poll?
In practice, trying to get better.
There you go. And you just kept moving, right?
Yeah, we're not going to stop practicing until they're #1. You got to figure out how to beat Tennessee.
Well, we're glad that is the focus, certainly, but certainly a good milestone for this program. And again, you guys are continuing this journey throughout the season, and that had to go through Auburn this past Saturday. What impressed you the most about the effort we saw from the Crimson Tide, outscoring Auburn 40-32 in the second half to get the win?
Yeah, I mean, I thought our guys showed some resilience. I mean, that's a tough place to play if you've ever been in a game in the arena. It's not easy. It's hard. The fans are right on top of you. You know, they played us tough the whole way. They're a good team. You know, we sent them to the free throw line too much. You know, we had to overcome some stuff. But we did a good job. I mean, they did a good job on defense on us. You know, they made it tough on Brandon, but we did a really good job finishing at the rim. And, you know, we didn't shoot it particularly well from three that game. And we didn't make our free throws either like we had been doing, but we did finish at the rim, and we got enough stops there late to pull out a win. And Auburn's a good team. They're a tournament team. They're going to be in the NCAA tournament, and you know they got a chance to make a run even. But you know our guys played well on the road, so we knew we had a tough two-game road stand back-to-back, you know, at their place at Tennessee, so it was important we got the first one.
Have you liked how your team has really approached road games all throughout the season? You go back to the Houston game, even the neutral site games in Portland back in November.
Yeah, I thought, you know, we went 2-1 in Portland and those neutral sites. You know, we beat two pretty good teams. You know, Michigan State's always tough, gritty, you know, hard-nosed. So I thought, you know, that was a good game. And then obviously the 4 overtime deal with Carolina was a big game. But, you know, our guys, they played well. I mean, we won at Houston when they're #1 in the country. We were down 15 in the second half. That showed a lot of grit, determination. You know, that was ends up being an even bigger win now if you're talking about rankings. Not that rankings really mean anything at this point of the year, but it is nice for the program. It's nice for the players, really, to be honest with you. I mean, those guys they'll be able to tell everybody, you know, we were #1 in the country in February. I mean, to me, it's different getting it in February, halfway through conference play, 2/3 of the way through conference play, you know, rather than preseason or early in the year when there isn't a whole lot of a big body of work. So I think it's good for the players. You know, they're going to be able to talk about that, but it's good for the program. You know, our fans, our supporters. There's been a lot of people that have supported the program through the years that have seen some lean years. Now that we're #1, I think it's great for them. As far as what it means for the team right now, it doesn't really mean a whole lot right now. We got to get ready to beat Tennessee. it means we've played some really good basketball this year, and stuff can change in a hurry. So we got to keep our attention where it needs to be focused. We need to focus on preparing for Tennessee and do the best job we can there, because they're a really good team that's going to be, kind of like you got them all fired up because they've lost 2 in a row on buzzer beaters now. So they've dropped 2 that they probably shouldn't have dropped. And they're going to be fired up, ready to go, and we're going in their house. So it's going to be a tough game, and we got to get our guys focused and ready to play.
Top 10 matchup coming up in Knoxville on Wednesday. Right now, we will go not to Knoxville, but how about down to Grand Bay, Alabama, where Pee Wee joins us now as he has tonight's first question that's brought to you by Alabama 811. Always contact 811 before you dig to know what's below. Call 811 or visit al811.com. Again, we go to the Yellowhammer Brewing Hotline where Pee Wee joins us now. Roll Tide, Pee Wee.
Roll Tide, Roger. Coach, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Pee Wee. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. I just want to say one thing real quick. I saw a quote that you had today where you mentioned the rat poison. I was glad that you kind of brought that up, and I was wondering partly how do you handle that to the team? And then secondly, I noticed that every still now and then we have a little bit of trouble inbounding the ball. And I was just wondering if there's been some work in progress on that, because it's been real close to getting a 5 count a few times on that.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I just kind of said Coach Saban calls it rat poison, which he does, which, if you know what rat poison is, it lures them in and then kills them. So, it's, everybody telling you how great you are, lure you in, tell you how great you are, and then it kills you because you quit doing what it takes to be number one. So, honest to God, we haven't even discussed being number one with the team yet. I knew we were number one midway through practice. Steven, our SID, told me. I chose not to even address it with the team. We've been number 2 before, kind of talked about it. We're not going to talk about it too much, if at all. We're going to focus on what we need to do to get better. At the end of practice, I talked about what was good and bad in practice, where we need to get better, and that's what we're going to talk about for the most part. We're going to focus on what we got to do to keep getting better. And then as far as inbounding the ball, yeah, we've had some issues. We've got to have some guys be a little bit more physical to get open. We're trying to score on all the underneath out of bounds plays. So sometimes, you could have a get it in play where you could guarantee to get it in, but you're never going to score on it. We're actually trying to score, and we've done a good job actually scoring on underneath out of bounds plays. So sometimes when you're trying to score and they take away option 1, 2, our guys got to do a little bit better job being physical and moving a little quicker so we can get to like this kind of the safety option at the end. Now, on the in plays, it hasn't cost us yet, like where you got to go 94 feet. I think we've gotten a lot better at getting the ball inbounded there. Sideline out of bounds plays, same thing there. We're trying to actually score on those, not just get it in. So sometimes, the other team's done a good job guarding our play where we can't score. Sometimes it looks like, we're having a hard time getting in. We are having a hard time getting in sometimes, and we got to just do a little bit better job making sure we have a safety, or if the scoring options aren't there, we still can get it in safely. But, I think it's getting better. I think it's one of those, Tom was always used to call them your special teams in basketball. We're trying to win the special teams, so I do think we want to try to score on those plays and then also have a safety to make sure we can get it in if we don't score.
And those are plays as well. You got to vary up as the season goes along. The sideline out of bounds plays, the baseline out of bounds plays. That's why you work on them so much in practice and trying to keep it fresh.
Yeah, we try to change them up. We're not trying to just run the same ones over and over. We got a staple package we go back to, frequently. But every game we're going to put a couple new ones in to try to exploit the way that they guard it. And we got Brandon shot off a sideline out play against Auburn. Clowney scored on underneath out of bounds play against Auburn. So, we're those little nuances, can mean the difference in a win or loss in some of these tight games. And, the Tennessee game's projected to be a 1-possession game. We're going to get some underneath out of bounds, some sideline outs, and they put a lot of pressure on. We'll work on some inbounding the ball plays as well.
We'll talk more about Alabama against Tennessee on Wednesday with Coach Oats when we return in just a moment. You're listening to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance for auto, home, and life insurance. Call Alfa. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
In America, the future belongs to everyone.
So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Tide fans, Golden Flake Snacks have been a proud partner with the Tide family for 65 years. The South's original potato chip, Golden Flake Snacks are delicious fan favorites because they're crafted from traditional Southern recipes. From crisp, perfectly flavored potato chips to light and airy pork rinds and fluffy, cheesy cheese puffs, Golden Flake Snacks are a winning combination with Alabama basketball. Share Golden Flake Snacks with your Tide family and friends. Simple, Southern goodness. That's Golden Flake.
Hi, we're RJ Young. We offer technology solutions that power your business, school, hospital, church, law firm, and more. RJ Young will empower your office to be the modern office. That means an office that integrates technology as a business advantage, all to help you work smarter. From managed IT services, office equipment, and technology, business process outsourcing, and digital communications, we're proud to be your one-stop for technology solutions that power your business. Come visit us at rjyoung.com.
All right, everyone, let's hit the road.
Mom, who's this?
Oh, that's Michelle. She's our Alpha agent. She helped me file that auto claim fast after that accident last week, so I figured we'd bring her with us.
Breakfast burrito?
All right, 200 miles before we stop. I hope you've all used the bathroom. Michelle, you good?
Before a little thing becomes a big thing, call your Alpha agent.
In SEC sports, the ifs come at you every minute. What if your QB had released the ball a second earlier? What if the head coach hadn't used his last timeout? What if your team goes all the way this season? If you love the tradition, if you live for the rivalry, if you can't wait each week for the absolute edge-of-your-seat action, Regions is right there with you as the official bank of the SEC.
Regions can't help you with the ifs in sports. Regions helps you embrace the infinite life.
Member FDIC.
Yellowhammer Brewing is proud to sponsor the Alabama Crimson Tide. Yellowhammer Brewing has been crafting fine beers for the state of Alabama for 12 years running. Their beers include a variety of classic styles, including their latest release, Yellowhammer Gold, a light, easy-drinking American lager. These guys are local and doing great things for their community. You can find their beers at grocery stores, restaurants, and craft beer shops throughout the state. Check them out at yellowhammerbrewing.com. Make your next pint of Yellowhammer and roll Tide.
With a minute to go. Griffin on the drive. He throws it home. Bama leads it by 6 with 55 seconds remaining.
Nate Oats is presented by CB&S Bank. You can bank anywhere at any time with CB&S Bank's digital solutions. Managing your finances has never been so easy. We continue with our conversation with the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Nate Oats, and we just heard a great highlight call from Chris Stewart talking about Rylan Griffin helping clinch that win against Auburn. He led the way with 16 points, and it seems like every week we're talking about Rylan Griffin, Coach, more and more.
Yeah, he's been getting better and better as the season goes on. That was a big game. Yeah, he led us in scoring. He hit some big shots. He played some good defense. I thought he was great on Wendell Green late in the game, too. So really happy for him, proud of him. He's just a kid that's continuing to improve. He's really coachable. He's got a lot of athleticism. He's got a lot of upside. He's 6'6", long, athletic, can shoot it. He's got good size. He's a smart kid, can lock in on the defensive end. So we're proud of him. Different guys are stepping up in different games. Who knows who it'll be against Tennessee, but Rylan's definitely been playing well here lately for us.
Speaking of consistency, how about the work of Mark Sears? 15 points last time out, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and it seems like he's just able to create. Even if some shots aren't falling from outside, he's able to get to the rim, really get the offense back moving.
Yeah, he attacks downhill. He's quick, he's explosive, he's strong. He gets the free throw line, converts well. He's been shooting it a lot better here lately, too. We saw him all summer and fall. He barely missed a shot. And then he started the year out pretty hot. He played well for a while. He went through a little bit of a slump there. And now I think he's got his legs back up under him. And he's feeling pretty comfortable. So, on a night when Brandon, who's been playing great for us, struggled to shoot from 3, I thought, guys like Rylan and Sears, stepped up for us, made some big shots. So, I mean, Brandon's going to have, you can't expect him to be Superman every night. He's been pretty good all year. But, Namari had been shooting really well for us, too, struggled a little bit, too. So, between, two of your better shooters, and Brandon and Namari don't shoot it that great, I think maybe you'd struggle that night. And we only hit 6 threes, and I think you could kind of tell Auburn's game plan was to make sure we didn't beat them from 3, but then we shot 83% at the rim. So, we got downhill. We made 23 twos. I mean, I think we were 20 for 22 at the rim. So it was pretty, or 20 for 24, I believe. We missed our first 2 and then made our next 20 out of our next 22. So, we don't just beat you from 3. I think there's other ways we can hurt you, and we hurt them at the rim. I think if teams want to take away the 3 and they leave the lane open, we're going to take at the rim shots and convert them.
So now Alabama trying to stay undefeated in the SEC, coming up on Wednesday night, going to Knoxville to face Tennessee. And I think a lot of people talk about the defense the Vols play with. How about offensively? What does your team have to do defensively in order to get the win?
Yeah, they're big, strong, tough, physical. They're a really good defensive team. But, they like to pound it inside and kind of beat you up. And, we've got some guys that are going to have to man up and play a man's game up there and make it a little harder. Now they've got 2 really good guards, too. And, Vescovi, who's been there, or Vescovi, I believe it's pronounced, who's been there a while now, and he can really shoot it. He's a strong guard that's super skilled. And then Ziegler's one of the quickest guards in the country. I mean, he gets downhill. He's been good. So between Ziegler, Vescovi, their bigs inside, and then they got a really good freshman, their own. I mean, Julian Phillips he's whether he's their best player or not, he's their most talented kid on the team. I mean, he's going to play in the NBA too. So, him and Brandon will be a good matchup. I mean, Brandon's put up a little bit better numbers than him, but Julian's got length, size, athleticism, and skill to kind of play. I mean, they're a really good team. That's why a lot of people are picking them to go to the Final Four, win the SEC. They were highly picked. They've just lost some close games here. So the win-loss record, I mean, they're still good. They're just not quite as good as we are, but they're right there. It's going to be a tough game.
Well, on Wednesday night, we're hoping for a lot of three-pointers for the Crimson Tide. And on the radio throughout the season, every three-pointer is not just a three-pointer when we say that it's good, or Chris Stewart says it. It's a Bank First three-pointer. They are a proud sponsor of all the three-pointers we've made. Leon Manning from Bank First is here tonight, and he has brought you, along with the broadcast crew, a goodie bag full of Bank First gear. Really excellent gear coming up here. We've got some golf shirt. We have the Bank First hat you can put on as well. Let's see that for Facebook Live.
It doesn't fit over here very well. You like the Bank First.
That's a pretty good look. You and Leon got to have a picture of that coming up in a bit. But, some definitely goodies from Bank First, a great partner all throughout the season. And, again, they sponsor every three-pointer, so we get to say their name a lot on the radio. That makes it a lot of fun for us when those threes are going in.
Yeah, we make a lot of them some games. So it's nice they sponsor them. We're going to keep shooting them. We all know that. Hopefully they keep going in for us.
Absolutely.
So thanks to Bank First for that.
Well, Coach, we hope everything goes in coming up on Wednesday against Tennessee, then later in the week as well. Just thank you for your time tonight. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Appreciate it, Roger.
That's Nate Oats. He's the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, ranked #1 in the country, and coming up on Wednesday facing the Tennessee Volunteers in Knoxville. Again, a thank you to Leon Manning at Bank First. We certainly are going to enjoy the gift bags that he gave to all of us on the broadcast crew, as well as Coach Oats. We thank them for their support of Alabama basketball. Thank you as well to Onward Reserve, the official apparel provider of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. For all the great gear this season, you can visit onwardreserve.com for all of your golf and game day apparel. Live authentically with Onward Reserve. Hey, Coach is presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. Back to wrap things up in just a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe. Do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time. Save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us.
We go through safety training and try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other part of it is if you hit certain things, you're liable for it.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic. Safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Trustmark is the bank that fits you to a
T.
You can bank right on your phone or
tablet
with the My Trustmark app. Our mortgage lenders will help you buy your dream
two-story tutor.
And Trustmark Tailored Wealth offers
tried and true
advice that makes
transforming
your future a piece of
toast.
Nice. Advice that works. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At My Eye Doctor, we would never think of getting between you and your screen, except with blue light lenses. Eye strain can happen by spending hours and hours with devices, texting, gaming, binging. Our lens solutions can help minimize the stress and strain of harmful blue light. We welcome all insurances. Eye care and eyewear are better together at My Eye Doctor, Doctors of Optometry. Schedule an appointment today at myeydr.com.
What widens the eyes, tightens the stomach, and flutters the heart. Adrenaline. Feel it for yourself in the Toyota RAV4, Camry, Corolla, and Tacoma. Get 2.9% APR for 36 months on a new 2023 Toyota RAV4. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through February 28, 2023. Zero down for well-qualified buyers with approved credit and financing through Southeast Toyota Finance. $29.04 monthly payment for up to $1,000 finance. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and DOT. See dealer for details.
What's on tap for Bama is presented by Bud Light. Bud Light, a proud sponsor of Alabama Athletics. Roll Tide. Our next broadcast coming up Wednesday night, men's basketball at Tennessee, 6 p.m. Tip-off, 5 p.m. airtime. If you missed any portion of tonight's show, catch it on demand on our Alabama Insider podcast. Download and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. That does it for tonight's Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. Roll Tide.